Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm coming to you from the 215 in the underdog capital of the world. In the words of the late, great DMX, where my dogs at? Okay, now that I got your attention, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone that has supported Diversity CRE's efforts on all of our various social media platforms. Me and the video team really want to thank all of you for all the amazing likes, subscribes, shares, and comments we received since our launch. Now, this is your first time checking out our content. Welcome. My name is Niles Reyes, and I'm the founder, host, executive producer, writer, manager, designer, accountant, and financier for Diversity CRE, otherwise known as DCRE, trademarked, and on YouTube is titled DCRE TV. Here on the channel, we are interviewing a diverse set of professionals within the commercial real estate industry, as well as highlighting their community involvement. Now that we got that intro out the way, if you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can receive favor from the algorithms, and feel free to follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or the gram, baby. Now, just to give you a little background, you might have seen my other community videos where we highlighted Lynn Corsi, a brother that wears many hats, project manager at CBRE, property investor in his own community, volunteer firefighter at Helping Hand Fire Company, which, if you don't know, is one of the last standing all African-American, all volunteer firehouses in the state of New Jersey, and maybe in the country for that matter. If you haven't seen that video, click on the link in the description box below. We also highlighted Tommy Choi, who is one of my Asian brothers that holds it down for his community as the CEO of NAP Philadelphia. If you don't know what NAP is, check out the link in the description box below. But anyway, we linked up with Tommy at his organization's Race to Feed event at Philabundance over in their new facility in Northeast Philly when it first opened up. Shout out to Philabundance, who is celebrating 25 years of leading the fight against hunger in the city of brotherly love. If you want to learn more about Philabundance, check it out in the link in the description box below. And shout out to Pamela Rainey Lawler, the founder of Philabundance. Yo, James, this lady started the company from the back of her Subaru in the 80s. Say word. If anyone knows this lady, please share with her my content, then put us in contact, because I would love to get her story on camera. Okay, I'm rambling. If you haven't seen the video of Tommy Choi and I at Philabundance for their NAP Race Feed event, click on the link above or below. All right, so let me jump into the video, which is DCRE's largest project to date, meaning over the course of 2 years, I finally built up the resources, the connections, and hired an experienced team. Shout out to Creative Content on Demand, otherwise known as CCOD, for doing the entire video coverage. So ladies and gentlemen, I've always been curious about one city in the state of New Jersey. It's actually the largest city in Jersey, and many of us Northeasterners travel through and out of this city to get to our final destination. So Newark, New Jersey, AKA Brick City. City's comprised of several wards. You go north, east, west, south, and central wards. Headquarters for large corporations like Prudential, PSEG, and Panasonic, just to name a few. Home of some of the best higher education institutions the state of New Jersey has to offer, like Rutgers University Newark, NGIT, and Seton Hall University's Law School. Many of you probably are familiar with Newark's extensive transportation infrastructure, as it's the major East Coast distribution point. The Newark International Airport is one of the world's busiest, since it serves both Newark, New Jersey, and New York City area. The Port of Newark is operated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Newark is the hometown of some of the most famous individuals in the entertainment industry, like Bill Bellamy, Ice-T, Michael B. Jordan, the late great Ray Liotta, the podcast godfather himself, Joe Rogan, Rod Digger, Redman, Faith Evans, Ooh La La La, the Fugees, the late great Whitney Houston, the coolest senator alive, Mr. Cory Booker, Shaquille O'Neal, and the Queen Latifah. But as a fan of economic and community development, I've been wanting to explore what makes this city's history, culture, and housing opportunities so plentiful. And thankfully, I was able to do so when I finally met up with one of my former colleagues, Fred Sullivan, or should I say Pastor Fred Sullivan,
who is also an industrial broker at one of the largest commercial real estate companies in the world.
Otherwise known as CBRE, aka the Big Green Machine. If you don't know who CBRE is, you need to know because they're also ranked one of the most admired companies by Forbes magazines. Now, I might be a little biased because that's where I started my career when I first transitioned into the industry, but I speak from experience when I say that they are committed to hiring, mentoring, and retaining diverse talent at their firm. So back to Fred, CRE professional, community and spiritual leader within the city of Newark. Fred was kind enough to introduce me to over a half a dozen of Newark's most influential people that are playing a major role in harvesting positivity within their community, no matter what ward they represent. So on our mission to explore Newark, the first stop on our itinerary was Just Fish Bar and Grill, located at 27 Halsey Street, which is owned by none other than a longtime Newark resident, Mr. Gary Simpson. If you haven't been there yet, and the next time you stop into Newark, you gotta check out Just Fish Bar and Grill. For real, you gotta check it out. It's a ground floor restaurant that serves amazing soul food and seafood. Mwah. And look, this isn't one of those spots where you just, the seafood's good or just the sides are good. You ever been to one of those restaurants where you eat the fries but the burger isn't good, or you eat the steak and it's cold and chewy but potatoes are good? No, this isn't one of those spots. Everything on the menu is amazing. The collard greens, mwah. The macaroni and cheese, mwah. The seafood is mind-blowing.
All right, let's try this delicious food.
So if you're ever in the area, stop by Mr. Gary's at Just Fish Bar and Grill and tell them Niles from DCRE TV sent you. Now, as you watch me eat the food, you probably wondered who I was eating with. Well, first, that lovely lady in the middle was one of my besties from Philly, and I've known her since her college days at Temple University, Miss Karenin Loinaz, one of Puerto Rico's brightest and best individuals you'll ever meet, and currently a public school teacher in the city of Philadelphia. The other individual is Mr. Vincent Rouse, our first interviewee, who is a native of Newark, currently employed as the business manager of resident economic development for Newark's Housing Authority. He's also a pastor at Pleasant Grove Baptist Church and the founder of a nonprofit called Pleasant House of Hope Community Development Corporation, formed to assist those who struggle with poverty, substance abuse, and homelessness. Here's a quick snippet from the interview.
Thank you for joining us, Vincent.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
Yes, I am from Newark, New Jersey. Proud and excited to say that from Newark. I was born and raised here in what was called at one time Martland Hospital, and now it's UMD&J Hospital. And born in the Central Ward, and my family moved to the South Ward, and I have been in Newark all of my life, and I'm just proud of that.
Okay, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you as well. Definitely glad to be here.
Yeah, Vincent, can you tell us where you went to school? A little bit about your background.
Yes, definitely. Again, being born in Newark, I went to Newark Public Schools, elementary school. I went to Louise A. Spencer School. I think probably had some folk when they hear that name, they give a few shout outs about that. There was a whole lot of us in Louise A. Spencer School that was from Prince Street Projects at the time. And I went to Link Community School. And also, and for high school, I went to Ex Catholic High School. Yeah. And also for college, I went to the College of New Rochelle. And I also have been in studies for theological studies as well.
Awesome. What are the different jobs or different roles you played in the city of Newark?
Wow, different roles I played in the city of Newark. I'm proudly to say that, and growing up, we had different types of activities, a lot of activities that I was a part of in the city of Newark. My grandparents who raised us made sure that we were a part of everything that took place in what we call Green Acres at the time. Now it's called Cowboy Melton Center. And so definitely participated in that as a youth, as a teenager. And then as an adult, definitely was a part of a lot of activities and still are. Some of those activities being now South Ward Clergy Alliance, because I'm a pastor. Yes,
You're
I'm a pastor.
Too?
I'm
Wow.
a pastor right here in the same city where I was born and raised, in the area where I played, right around the corner from what we call Cooper Park. We used to call it Cooper Park, and now they call it Mildred Helms Park. And I have so many memories, even every time I go to church, of me being a child.
Now, what church is this?
That's Pleasant Grove Baptist Church.
All right, shout out to Pleasant Grove.
Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, 198 Chadwick Avenue. And when people hear Chadwick, some folk be like, no, we in the hood. We right in the hood. I'm proud to be there. I'm proud to work with my community. That's my family. You know, I love them, and we're going to make it a utopia. It's going to change.
Awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. We have a brief announcement giving you, the viewers, an opportunity to support this program. If you've enjoyed this type of content, which highlights the achievements of a diverse set of professionals, you can support by clicking on one of the payment app links in the description below. I'm a black man with a plan who teamed up with another skilled brother and his wife, and we've decided that there's not enough stories being shared of successful and progressive diverse individuals. For instance, if you haven't caught on already, I'm from Philly, and if you're from Philly too, see if you can answer these 3 questions. Who was the most popular black actor from Philly? Okay, who is the most successful and well-known rapper to recently come out of the city of Philadelphia? Last one. Who is the most famous and highest paid comedian to come out of Philly? Now, you didn't even have to be from the city of brotherly love to know the answer to those questions, because anyone that's been paying attention to the American culture for the past decade knows who these fine gentlemen are. And it's a testament to the talent in the city I call home. Now look, I'm not trying to name drop, although I just did, but it helps provide context for the next set of questions. Check this out. Can you name one minority individual from the city of Philadelphia who has served or currently serving as a chairman or CEO of a Fortune 500 company? Who is the most successful minority banker, venture capitalist, and/or entrepreneur to come out of Philly? Currently, who is considered one of the most distinguished minority educators, lawyers, accountants, doctors, or my personal favorite, commercial real estate developer in the city of Philadelphia? Don't know? Well, I don't know either, but I'm on a mission to find these individuals, interview them, and ensure that we all know who's who going forward. Okay, now that you get my drift, here's your opportunity to support the ongoing efforts to highlight a diverse set of professionals and to inspire the next generation. Eventually, we're looking to go across the country to speak with you or someone you know at the top of their game in their respective industry and has significant community involvement. Please contact me on LinkedIn right now. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for the latest videos on this channel. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video. Now, I told my team not to edit out this part because I want the audience to know that we shot this video on a hot summer day, and I really want to thank the team and the interviewee for their effort in sticking it out and making this all work. Now, following the interview, the food was so good that I had to thank the owner again for hosting us. And then I said, shoot, you know what? What's your origin story, Mr. Gary? And lo and behold, we got another underdog. Say word. So here's a snippet from that interview.
So, Mr. Gary, thanks a lot for letting us take over the back patio.
My pleasure.
And we just got done.
Even though y'all stayed extra long and had extra space, I'm not going to charge you.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate
That's okay.
that. But yeah, we just got done interviewing Pastor Vincent Rouse, who shared a story with us about the city of Newark and its revitalization, what his involvement in the community. So I felt that it's only right to, for you to share your story, how you got started here at Just Fish and how you got into the culinary business yourself.
Well, I was working for IBM for 15 years, and they offered a buyout package. I was already doing food, catering, doing several street events. We even went down to Philadelphia to do the Doon Day Festival, the Philly Fest. So we were already ingrained in the food business. So I had the opportunity to leave IBM. I left, and the buyout package money ran out. The next thing you know, I was selling fish on the sidewalk on South Orange Avenue. And that was my first location. So I sold fish outside on the sidewalk for 2 years.
Wow.
And I was fortunate enough that the gentleman who owned the building offered me a space inside the building, which we did take, and he didn't charge us rent for 2 years. Wow. So that allowed us to save some money and really get started. So we were there for 12 years. Then we migrated to downtown Newark on William Street for another 12 years.
Wow.
Then the pandemic hit recently, so we were in a temporary location on Branford, which was right down the street from William Street. So we wound up staying there for 3 years, and it turned out to be a blessing because the only person who was open was us. So we kind of made a whole bunch of money during the pandemic when a lot of people were closed.
Wow.
We were able to take advantage of that, which enables us to save money to move in to this location, which we found, this has been our best location so far. We have we have more room to go and further to do, but this is our best location so far.
Okay.
And of course, we have the patio back outside.
Yes.
We have this beautiful facility we just purchased. So we are moving forward.
Can you tell us, like, what's the highlight of the menu?
But we started off just frying fish on the
Right.
sidewalk and lemonade. And then we started to grow. Then we added chicken, then we added shrimp. Then we added fried lobster tails,
Wow.
fried salmon. Whatever you can think of you come in to order and we don't have it, most likely when you come back, it'll be on the menu.
Okay.
If it's good.
Right.
But we started off just doing soul food. But then we incorporated the soul food and the seafood. So that combination really makes us really, really popular.
You can watch our interview with Mr. Vincent Rouse and Mr. Gary in their entirety in the link above or below. The next stop on our exploration took place at the Lincoln Park, where Fred Sullivan introduced us to Mr. Anthony Smith, who is Executive Director of Lincoln Park Coastal Cultural District, who was recently featured in Positive Community's October 2022 edition. Shout out to Positive Community, which is a faith-based lifestyle magazine targeted to the African-American consumer in the New York and New Jersey market. Okay, we're gonna get a little serious here, so lock in. Bear with me though, but really lock in. The Lincoln Park is a nonprofit organization celebrating about 20 years of transforming a historical significant community through creative placemaking via the arts, music, culture, and Mr. Anthony Smith has been leading this effort since 2012. Now, according to Positive Community's feature on Lincoln Park, the area had notoriety during the early 20th century as it was known as the Coast, a nickname earned in the 1930s when Black musicians who played in clubs in New York City would head over to Lincoln Park or the Coast because at that time it reigned as the center of African American life outside of Harlem within the New York metro area. Unfortunately, urban blight set in after the 1967 Newark riots. And it wasn't until the 1990s when leaders in the community wanted to revitalize the storied park area. And in 2002, Lincoln Park Coast Cultural District was created. Now, the revitalization of this community has been no easy feat. And in 2008, the organization almost shut down per the article in the Positive Community publication, which the details can be read in the description box below. But after revamping their offerings to include job training for its residents and to help produce additional revenue, they did things like provide property management services for owners of nearby properties. And they even have an annual festival that has hosted up to 60,000 people over the course of 3 days. Now let's not forget about their community partners, one of them being the 800-pound gorilla in the city of Newark, Prudential Financial. Shout out to Pru. So when Fred made the introduction to me in 2021 and we linked up in Newark to get some B-roll for his interview, I knew I had to come back and do a deep dive analysis on this community. Now note, Fred is one of Lincoln Park's board members and is deemed a vital asset to the nonprofit because of his leadership in the community coupled with his experience as a commercial real estate professional. Now that you have the background, let's go check out a snippet from our tour with Anthony and Fred. They took me and my co-host Karenin on.
So are the people who live in these neighborhoods, are they mostly from Newark, or would you say what's the
I think
breakdown?
that the people in this community are from a little bit everywhere. Some from Newark,
Okay.
who have been here from the inception. So if you think of Fort Greene, Red Hook, you think of Jersey City, this is one of those kind of communities because it's still downtown, 5 minutes from the airport, 10 minutes from Penn Station. And what happens is that it's affordable enough for us. So if you get a 2-bedroom apartment with 17-foot ceilings and all that, you're only paying $1,500. If you're in Manhattan, you may be paying $3,000 for it.
Yes.
So it's attractive for folks to move here that they can, it's affordable. This was a project that we were engaged with. We have artists living here and families living here. This used to be just an abandoned lot.
Really? So
Yeah.
there's nothing here, just desolate.
It was
land.
desolate, and now there's 68 units of housing there.
That looks great.
Yeah, and the way that
I've lived there
It's fun,
myself.
I know.
yeah, and the way that they developed it is that they have artists. They have a room in there if you need to do rehearsals. You know, so you have all those different things available to make it convenient.
So is it only available for the people who live here, or
Yeah, mostly for the people here, but
Yeah.
we always engage because they have a community room. So I always call them
Okay.
and say, hey, we need to have a community meeting. Can we use the
That's
community
great.
room? Sure. This this is a gallery. It's called Cement Gallery. It was called City Without Walls Gallery. But this is a mural of Ango Shaki from Color Girls who considered suicide when the rainbow was enough. I forget how to pronounce it.
Ntozake.
It's in
Ntozake.
Ntozake, yes. And so this is a mural that was done on her behalf because this was one of her last stops she came to before she passed away about a year or so ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and gave a talk.
I can always see when I walk through Newark is Newark strong. That's everywhere in the city.
Yeah, because we're a resilient city and a resilient people. You know, despite all the challenges, Newarkers have a lot of grit and resiliency, you know, and fight.
Yeah, definitely. That's one reason why I wanted to highlight Newark, because it reminds me of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get the highlights that New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, DC get, but you know, we have our own dynamic.
And what's nice is that this is such an old community.
Right.
Like this was an old carriage house that they turned into an apartment building.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the bones of the community is amazing. Newark is the 3rd oldest city in the United States.
Wow.
You know, so it's exciting. And so we're excited to be able to really help work at legacy building and keeping the culture and the history and the contributions of Black and brown folks intact here.
Yes.
You know, because the city's going to change, gentrification is happening, and you know, you want some of that to happen, but you want it to be inclusive, that everybody benefits from it.
Right.
So that we're the stewards of that. You know, that's why we're excited to have Fred on board, because he's not afraid to shout. You know, and our organization was started as a social justice organization, so it was all about, you know, taking it to the streets.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Grassroots efforts.
And everything that we were doing. And when you get the groundswell from the people, because culture bubbles from the bottom to the top.
Right.
And when you get that, then you have a high level of social capital. So sometimes when you don't have currency, but you have the social capital will help you to maneuver through the things that you need to get through.
Yeah, it helps people feel accepted, welcome,
engaged.
gives them a place where they feel
Give
like
them
they
voice.
belong. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not forgotten.
Yeah,
Not
you
forgotten.
feel more likely to want to respect your city, respect what, where you are.
Anthony was kind enough to show us that alley and then take us over to the empty lot where Lincoln Park plans to build a mixed-use property to house tenants and their corporate offices. Construction hasn't started yet, but in the interim, the Lincoln Park District allows families and friends within Newark's Latino community to use the area to host cookouts and play volleyball on the weekends. Now, thank God I brought my bestie Karenin with me from Philly, because although my last name is Reyes, I didn't grow up speaking Spanish. So it was great having Karenin around so she could translate for Mr. Manuel and his community.
How you doing, my friend? Hi. Hola. So he's been a great person that really helped us clean this all up, because this used to be our farm. Yeah, this used to be our community farm where we used to have hydroponic farm, growing farm here. Then when we stopped, we bought it with Mr. Manuel, and I think it's beautiful that his family can be able to use this, and and it's still part of the community.
Todo el mundo, mi familia, disfrutando aquí. Los sábados, domingos para todos.
Okay, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
It's for everyone.
That's cool right there. Look at that. How they have
¿Qué están preparando? A ver.
So they made their own pit, right?
¿Ustedes hicieron esto? ¿Sí? ¿Eso lo hicieron ustedes?
Sancocho, morcilla.
Ah, sancocho, morcilla. Pensé que era morcilla, pero no estaba segura que era morcilla.
Esa es morcilla, yeah.
¿Sí, es morcilla? Oh, wow. Sí, y ustedes hicieron todo esto, ¿verdad?
Esa comida que hacen en Ecuador cada vez que hacemos.
Sí, en Puerto Rico también la morcilla es súper popular.
So we're walking to the front. So this church was built in 1800s, and it was built 1863 or something like that. And this is where Lincoln spoke before he went to his inauguration, and that's how the park became Lincoln Park. Now what we're going to be doing here in the next 2 years, we're building 60 units of housing here with our permanent office space here. We got approvals for it, but in the meantime, while that's not happening and COVID happened, we think that it's best to let the land be used in a positive fashion.
Yo, that was pretty dope, wasn't it? Shout out to Manuel and his family and friends, and to the entire Latino community in the city of Newark, New Jersey. So I really wanted to see the inside of one of the apartment units at Lincoln Park. So I pulled Ant aside and said, I know this is last minute, but do you know anyone that'll give us a tour of their apartment like right now? He looked at me and said, I got you. So next on our tour, we visited James Moody Apartments, which consists of 4 buildings. 3 of the buildings are new construction, and the 4th building is a combination of new construction and preserved historical facade. The buildings are spread throughout Newark Central Ward and provide a total of 66 affordable apartments, all which feature Energy Star appliances, natural services made from recyclable materials, and bamboo flooring. Also included are 55 off-site parking spaces for the residents. All of the apartments are for family households that earn no more than 50% of the Essex County median income. Now, as an investment guy, I had to find out how something like this was paid for, and my research found out that New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency provided approximately $2.3 million in mortgage financing for the project and awarded federal low-income housing tax credits, which was projected to generate at least $8.7 million in private equity. The project also received approximately $9 million in subsidies from the Tax Credit Assistance Program and the Tax Credit Exchange Program that were made available to the HMFA through the Federal American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. Okay, sorry for nerding out a little there. So anyway, Anthony introduced us to the perfect tenant, Ms. Donna Holland, who was able to give us a tour of her beautiful 1-bedroom apartment. Check this out.
Hey, Donna. How you doing? Thanks for inviting us into your home. Donna, one of the residents that we targeted to move into the Lincoln Park community, an artist, you know, and you can see from her place here that she does a lot of this creations herself. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself, Donna?
Oh yes, I am Donna Holland. I got here to Lincoln Park 11 years ago. I was one of the first artists to move in. I work on Broadway in New York, and I've been dressing the Rockettes for 24 years. And I do movie sets, and I dress the stars on Broadway. So welcome to my home.
So this is what a bathroom looks like, a real bathroom looks like in Lincoln Park.
That's a huge bed, a huge chair, nice balcony.
Yeah, walk-in closet.
Walk-in closet.
This is how we're supposed to live in Newark, right?
This is one piece that I did for my father who passed away in 2018. He was a basketball player and he was into jazz. So a lot of the jazz album covers you see here are some of the people that he worked with in the music industry. So when he passed, I did a whole thing on jazz and basketball, and this is one of the pieces. And the other piece over there is from Gil Scott-Heron, who he helped get started in the record industry, who used to come to our house all the time and sleep on their floor. So it's like all my family's history here.
Now, after the interviews and great food at Just Fish, the amazing tour in Lincoln Park, the video team shut it down. And I wanted to shut it down too, but it was my sister's birthday. So I invited both my sisters, Tiffany and Amber, to come to Newark to party with me and my girlfriend, Nikema, and we ended up celebrating at this hit Latin restaurant called Little Tijuana. we capped off our journey in Newark by linking back up with Fred the next day and attending his service in Bethlehem Baptist Church in the North Ward.
It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I'm sure if you grew up in church, no matter what type of church it was, you probably loved it too. Okay, so then Pastor Fred Sullivan got on the pulpit and preached his heart out. And if you want to watch the entire sermon, you know where to find it.
Oh yes, we are thankful for salvation. We are grateful for redemption. But until we go across that icy Jordan, until we go beyond the eschaton, we've got to live right here, and we seek salvation and liberation in Christ Jesus.
Following his sermon, I approached Pastor Sullivan and I was like, Fred, that touched my heart. That really, really touched my heart. And then me and the video crew went outside to film Bethlehem Baptist annual school supply drive. So the church does this annually, and there was literally a line around the block with black and brown families stopping by to pick up free school supplies for their kids.
Let us begin with school supplies.
We've been here in this community for 112 years. All of our existence has been in the North Ward of Newark. And I think for about 90 some odd years, we've been here on this block in various places, eventually settling at our current location.
Okay.
So since there are members who attend our church who have gone to Abington School, it's just natural for us to have an association with them. And I'm thankful for Dr. Young, who is a former superintendent here in Essex County, for forging a relationship that we could use to support the students and also our own students within our church.
Right.
But there are more outside in this community that surrounds us than there are inside, and we provide book bags, and school supplies for them.
This is the second year we partner with Pastor Sullivan and Dr. Young, and they've been kindly to include their congregation in supplying our students with backpacks and school supplies. They are also providing them a lovely lunch, which was so unexpected and so greatly appreciated.
Last year we distributed about 100. Our goal this year was to have 200 and to make it a more festive atmosphere, especially in the days of COVID. We can do a lot of things outside. Thank God for good weather.
Yes.
And we're hopeful that we can get a number of people to come and get these bags. What's left over goes to the school. And we also hope to be able to support them with other things as we go forward.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for my coverage of Newark, New Jersey. We'll keep doing this annually until we reach the mayor's office and get some commentary from him. That's right, Ras Baraka, I'm coming to interview you. But in the meantime, if you know anyone that you think would be a great person to interview next time you come up, shoot me a message on any of our DCRE social media platforms. Currently, we're in the process of connecting with folks in other cities like Camden, Baltimore, Chicago, and even Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So if you know any community organizers, real estate developers, nonprofit founders, or councilmen or women, please DM me so we can make an introduction and build out this pipeline so me and my team can shoot, communicate, and kill this content for your educational entertainment. I'd like to thank all of my interviewees for sharing their stories on DCRE TV and providing the team access to their community. Truly appreciate you. Shout out to Creative Content OnDemand, which is a family-run, minority-owned video production company based out of Southern New Jersey that filmed and edited this entire content. James and April, I really appreciate y'all, and I'm glad we finally got this one across the finish line. And lastly, if you made it this far in the video, I really want to thank you for your support. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. If you really want to be a valued consumer for this content, donate on one of the payment apps in the description box below. Again, it's your boy, Niles Reyes, and until next time, peace.